Ola's choice. 12 years of marriage had etched lines of quiet pain across Ola's face. She sat in the living room of their home in Bodija, waiting for Promise. The clock ticked past midnight, and the room was eerily silent except for the hum of the standing fan. Ola picked up her phone and scrolled through their message history. Her last unread message to him, sent hours ago, read, "Will you be home for dinner?" The marriage hadn't always been this way. In the early years, there were fleeting moments of laughter and shared dreams. But as Promise's business grew, so did his distance. Ola learned to eat dinner alone, sleep alone, and cry alone. That night, her patience cracked. She grabbed her car keys and drove to his office in Dogby. Ola parked her car a few meters from the office building and spotted Promise immediately. He stood near the entrance, his tall frame silhouetted under the soft glow of the security lights. He wasn't alone. Mary, his ex-girlfriend, stood beside him, her hand brushing his arm as she laughed softly. Ola felt a cold chill creep up her spine. Mary, the woman he had once loved so fiercely, was back. Ola remained in the shadows, her heart pounding. She watched as Promise's warm and genuine smile lit up his face. It was a smile she hadn't seen in years, a smile reserved for someone else. Back home, Ola sat on the edge of their bed, her thoughts a storm of anger and sorrow. When Promise finally walked in, his shirt rumpled and tie loosened, she confronted him. "Promise, do you still love me?" He froze, caught off guard by the directness of her question. "Ola, don't start this tonight. I'm tired." "Tired of me? Or tired of pretending?" She shot back, her voice trembling. "If you don't love me anymore, just say it. Stop wasting my time." Promise's expression hardened. "If you think I'm wasting your time, maybe we should end this marriage. I've had enough of your accusations." The next morning, Ola woke early. She spent hours drafting a divorce agreement, tears streaming down her face. It was a simple document outlining how they would divide their assets. She left it on the dining table and waited. When Promise came downstairs, he glanced at the papers and scoffed. "Are you serious? You think I'll let you walk away that easily?" "I'm not asking for your permission," Ola replied calmly. "I'm telling you it's over." The ride to the registry was suffocatingly silent. Ola stared out the window, watching the bustling streets of Ibadan pass by. Traders lined the roads, their voices rising above the honks of Okadas. Promise's jaw was tight, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. When they arrived, the mediator, an elderly woman with kind eyes, tried to dissuade them. "Marriage is not easy, my children," she said. "Are you sure you can't work things out?" Ola smiled politely but firmly. "There's nothing left to work out." Ola moved into a modest apartment in Egodi, leaving behind the spacious house she had once called home. The first night was quiet, almost too quiet, but it was also liberating. She unpacked her belongings slowly, savoring the feeling of reclaiming her independence. She started a new routine, filling her days with job applications and long walks around the neighborhood. For the first time in years, she felt like herself again. Promise, on the other hand, was falling apart. Without Ola, his life lacked structure. His ulcer pains worsened, and he found himself unable to focus at work. One evening, his best friend David visited him at home. "Promise, you need to get yourself together," David said, his tone serious. Promise shook his head, staring at the empty dining table. "She's gone, David. And I'm the reason why." A week later, Promise's friend David called Ola. "Ola, Promise is in the hospital. He's been drinking heavily, and his ulcers are acting up. He keeps calling your name." Ola's heart clenched, but she forced herself to stay strong. "He made his choices, David. He's not my responsibility anymore." David sighed. "Ola, I know he hurt you, but he's breaking down. Can't you just see him once? No, she replied firmly, hanging up the phone. Months passed, and Ola was thriving. She secured a job at a prestigious bank in Mokola and even joined a painting class to explore her creative side. Her confidence grew with each passing day. One evening she attended a class reunion at a popular restaurant in Jericho. As she mingled with old classmates, the door swung open, and in walked Promise, thin, pale, and visibly broken. Mary was by his side, but the glow she once carried was gone. The room fell silent as everyone turned to watch them. As the evening progressed, whispers filled the air. "They are back together," someone murmured. Ola remained composed, but inside, she felt a mix of pity and disgust. When Mary approached her, she was surprisingly candid. "Ola, I don't know how you did it," Mary admitted. "Promise isn't the man I thought he was." Ola smiled faintly. "Sometimes, it takes losing something to see its true value." Later that night, Promise cornered Ola outside the restaurant. His eyes were red, his voice trembling. "Ola, I made a mistake. I thought I loved Mary, but it was you all along. Please, give me another chance." Ola shook her head. "You don't love me, Promise. You just don't want to be alone. I gave you everything, and you threw it away. Now, I have nothing left to give." Promise signed a new divorce agreement, transferring all his assets to Ola. "Take it," he said, his voice heavy with regret. "It's the least I can do." Ola accepted the papers but knew that no amount of wealth could erase the pain he had caused her. Ola poured her energy into building a new life. She reconnected with old friends, explored new hobbies, and even began dating again. Though her heart bore scars, it also carried the strength of someone who had survived. One evening, as she watched the sunset from her balcony, Ola reflected on the journey that had brought her here. She realized that love, when unreciprocated, could destroy a person. But self-love, the ability to walk away from what no longer served her, was the greatest gift she could give herself. And for the first time in years, she felt truly free. Moral lesson: respect and care are the pillars of love. When they crumble, so does the relationship. Cherish those who love you, for their love is not infinite, and it is never guaranteed. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.